Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing for Thursday, the 22nd of December. I'm Derek Clark, and I'm delighted to say we're joined on this bright and breezy December morning by Adam Thornton. How are we getting on, Adam?
Not bad, thank you, Derek. Just winding down now very much for hopefully a quiet couple of weeks.
Yeah, that'll be right. Let's talk football then. Let's talk Rangers. That's why people are tuning in. Before we do that, folks, you can see the banner on your screen. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. Over, I think, about 10,500 of you now subscribing, which is great. And you can see the little ticker below that. We've got our offer on the website, just £1 for 2 months worth of content. Head over to rangersreview.co.uk/subscribe for all the details. Right, Adam, we spoke, I was on yesterday with Stevie Clifford. It was the morning after, the night before. What was your main takeaways from Tuesday night at Pittodrie? I think at 94 minutes, I don't think anyone would have predicted that sort of comeback. Scott Arfield at the double, and it changes the mood completely. What was your main takeaways from it?
Like you said, obviously fantastic to get the win when it's the 94th minute, and you're getting beat. That absolutely goes without saying. And I think we have seen this. I think people have sort of recognised that that's great to have that win, but let's not excuse how poor the performance was. I think sometimes we can be quite guilty of that. This time last year, when Van Bronckhorst came in and got all those wins and clean sheets, we were heralding him as being a hero when the performances, if we're honest, weren't great. We got a couple of key moments going our way, and we managed to get a few results, such as maybe Hibs away, etc. So I think everybody has been quite sensible about it. I don't think anybody's going over the top and saying fantastic 2 wins against Aberdeen and Hibs. That must mean we're doing great. For me, we haven't played well. We played well against Hibs in the second half. And I thought we had a couple of nice moments in the first half against Aberdeen, but nowhere near consistent enough. And I think the manager has said that himself. So great to get the wins. Obviously, that is the most important thing. But for me, we need to see performances improving and becoming more consistent. Not even across 90 minutes, but across 4, 5, 6 games. That's the better barometer for me in terms of how things are going to go. But obviously, results are great to get in the meantime as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's touch on I don't think we discussed Connor Goldson's comments to Rangers TV. It sparked a bit of a debate after the game when he said, speaking about the match against Aberdeen, of course, making his comeback after 2 months out. He says it obviously wasn't pretty, but again, it's 3 points. We said in there, meaning the dressing room, and probably the last 2 games in the last weeks, we probably wouldn't have won those games. I've obviously been watching from the stands. Hopefully now we can get a bit of confidence back as a whole group and start picking up 3 points more often. It hasn't been nice, and when we've conceded, it's looked like we can't come back into games. Obviously, the boys have tried their best, but it hasn't happened. We haven't created chances, whereas today we kept going and luckily got 2 chances and Scotty put them away. What do you make of those comments, Adam? I think he's right, to be honest. I don't think... I think a few weeks ago you wouldn't have envisaged that. In fact, I didn't think that Rangers team would have come back. Actually, on the 94th minute, Scott Arfield had a couple of chances. I didn't see it happening. Can't remember the last time it's happened, to be honest. Very few late comebacks like that. But certainly, if the players are talking about that in the dressing room, there's a realism there, and hopefully it can ignite a bit of confidence and momentum.
Yeah, I kind of look at it the other way as well. Like, it's probably a throwaway line. We've all said that, like, we'd have lost that game last year, or we'd have done this, we'd have done that. But why wouldn't they have been capable of coming back a month ago? The inference that I take from that there is that the players didn't have the confidence in what they were trying to do, or the confidence in the manager. Maybe that's reading too much into it. I don't know, but you'd have to ask yourself why. So I would sort of lay that back on the players and say, well, why? Why was that an issue a month ago? What has changed? Is it just the manager and you want to play for this manager? That's not great either. So it's an interesting one. In terms of the comeback as well, I think we probably need to be realistic. You know, when you're trailing a game and you get into the 85th minute and everybody will say, we'll get one chance, we need to take it.
Yeah.
We know we'll get one chance. There is an element of luck involved in that as well. Like, Ryan Kent's shot okay, he's playing a little bit more centrally. He can hit it with his left foot. It's a pretty hit and hope effort. Long shot, kind of daisy cutter. The keeper spills it. So you could argue we get a bit of luck there with the mistake. Arfield gambling going in is fantastic. And then maybe with the goal as well, the winner as well. Tillman does great, gets the ball over, but the header drops for Goldson, which very rarely happens for us as well. So I don't know if it's necessarily symbolic of a change in mentality or a change in this, or that we're going for it and it was we unlocked the defence or anything like that. I think you could look at it a couple of ways and say, like, sometimes the luck falls for you and sometimes it doesn't. What I think we just need is more evidence, I guess, of that mentality and character that they're talking about. But undoubtedly, I think to keep going up at Pittodrie and to keep kind of knocking on the door, particularly when Arfield came on, the amount of shots and chances that he had really driving that forward, I think was great to see. And any win at Pittodrie is fantastic. But in that manner is brilliant.
Yeah, it was sweet. Kev Armstrong gets in touch. Morning, Kev. He says, we moan when footballers and managers give copy and paste answers, so we can't complain when they tell us the truth, especially when it's something the fans have been saying too. If you remember, it was about just last season when Goldson came out after that League Cup semi against Hibs, and he was talking about, it made some controversial comments at the time, and it sparked a bit of debate as well. He certainly is one to speak his mind, and yeah, it's interesting comments, but hopefully it can, those sort of wins, it can't not breed confidence in what has been a beleaguered dressing room. There's no doubt about it. In terms of his return, Adam, it was great to see him back in the team again. I think I think Rangers have no doubt missed him. Ben Davies is another one where we've seen where I don't think the James Sands idea that he can play centre back should be put to the back burner. I don't think that has worked. John Lundstrom, likewise. You just need to touch wood that Davis and Goldson can steer clear from injury.
Yeah, I think Goldson was really, really good on Tuesday night. Obviously, we were a little bit slack defensively. I think both the goals sort of came from errors or misjudgments from Sands, as you've said. Goldson and Davies will be the strongest that we have, I think, in terms of the partnership there. The big question, weirdly, given Goldson's been out longer, is how durable Davies is going to be. It feels like so. That'll be interesting to see. But we do need them back. I think those two played very, very well in that period that they had. Sands, not great. I think there's probably a case that maybe in certain games he would be fine to come in, whether it's to give Davies a break or anything like that at centre back. But personally, I would rather that any of those minutes are going to Leon King over James Sands right now from a development point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. At this stage of the season, Adam, are you signing them on a permanent deal? Or I think a lot of Rangers fans are, if they had a toss-up between Tillman and Sands, it's Tillman all day long.
Oh, definitely. 100% Tillman all day long. With Sands, if the figures are 3.5, 4 million, absolutely no chance. Probably absolutely no chance, regardless of the budget that we've got. But a little bit less than that, maybe. There might be a deal there around about 1.5 million or so. But again, it depends. If we've only got 5 million, then no, absolutely not. But if we've got 10, 15 million quid lying around, which I don't think we have, then possibly someone like that coming in who might have a couple of good years and you can sell them on for a wee bit more. That's where we would love to get to, taking those sort of, not necessarily punts, but taking those players in, giving them a home for 2 or 3 years, getting them a bit of experience with European football, hopefully winning trophies domestically, and then trying to flip them on for even just a couple of million more. That's where I would like us to get to, but I'm not sure we're at that stage of the rebuild or the finances are at that stage yet.
Yeah, it's very early days. CGM55 says Coulson was blowing a fair bit by the end. Can he go again tomorrow? He did say that he was absolutely knackered and understandable considering he's only had 2 training sessions, he said. And Michael Beale said afterwards he wouldn't have trusted any other player if it wasn't Connor Goldson to pitch him in. But listen, he's played, God, he rarely misses games since he's been here, Adam. Aside from that injury layoff, he'll be itching to play on Friday night, won't he? Would you start him on Friday?
Probably not, to be honest, just because of that. I think he'll have been amped up and got through that game on adrenaline. So maybe not, or maybe start him and bring him off on the hour or something like that. Again, it probably depends how that game is going, really, with him. But I think maybe Davies and King on Friday would be a good shout. Get both of them back in. It may be, like I said, that he goes with, I don't know, Goldson and King for the first 60 minutes or so, and then brings on Davies just to try and give them all a wee bit of minutes ahead of the fixture run that's coming up. But I would say if we could get away with not playing Goldson on Friday night and just leave him to Motherwell and give him that week and a bit of recovery, I think that might be best.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but knowing Connor Goldson will be one of the first players to put his hand up wanting to play in the game. Let's get to some of the comments that are coming in here with regards to that game tomorrow night. Caroline says, Michael Beale said we'd see some new faces in the squad tomorrow. I'm intrigued. At this point, he's coming for a bit of criticism after Tuesday night, Adam. William White says, need to drop Big Alan tomorrow night. What did you make of the goals that Aberdeen scored? We've done a bit of analysis on them yesterday, where especially the free kick, I think it was 0.10 XG at the post shot, so it tells you that it really Rangers should have done better with that. The second one, it's a really good hit from the boy Clarkson, but it's close to McGregor. Should he have done better? And would you like to see a change in goal?
Yeah, I don't think either of them are in the top corner, or either of them are particularly fantastic. Particularly the free kick, like you said, because that's coming over onto his side, if you like. I don't know if it's caught him blindside and he's expecting it's going to go over the wall and curl round. I'm not sure, but even with that, the fact that it kind of goes through him, if you like, it's not above him or to the side, it just kind of goes through him, as a reactions thing, I think, and that's maybe something that he gets to at this age. In terms of another goalkeeper, I'm on record as thinking McLaughlin was very harshly treated. For a lot of fans, that display at Celtic is their red line and they can't ever get back from that, and I think that's absolutely fine. Whether or not he would come in and make such a huge difference in terms of saving goals, etc., I'm not 100%. He would give us a little bit more in terms of playing out from the back, etc., but I just think at this time of Michael Beale's managerial career at Rangers, I think the least risky option is probably still McGregor. I think we know McGregor's mentality. Okay, he's been at fault for one or two of those goals. I think we know that he'll get over that and get going with it, maybe more than fans think McLaughlin. So I think for me, the safest option probably out of the two is McGregor, but I think both are flawed options. So again, I'm not sure whether it's really right to pitch Robbie McCrory in right now as well either. I think that might be a decision that they maybe want to make in the summer, or whether we go and get someone else. But I think for now, if you pushed me on it, I would say what's going to cause the least amount of panic. Panic both within the fan base and making mistakes, etc. I'd probably say McGregor still.
Yeah. Would you like, a lot of fans are saying a goalkeeper needs to be bought in January, if not January, then the summer. Would you go along with that, Adam? Is that a priority for you in the transfer window coming up?
I had hoped that I'd hoped we could deal with McLaughlin as the keeper for a year or two. I think there would have been, if we'd had maybe a different set of circumstances in terms of the Champions League and the injuries and performances and things, I think we might still have been okay with that for a year or two as a stopgap to allow us to invest in other positions maybe a bit better. But I think we'd always thought that coming into this summer, we really need to start looking at another number one, whether that's someone who's a kind of 28-year-old solid pro, or whether that's someone who's a little bit younger with a lot of potential. I don't really know. I'd probably verge on the former there in terms of being a Rangers goalkeeper, but I think we probably want to be looking at that in the summer. The issue that we've got, I guess, is that the priorities that we thought we fixed last summer haven't been fixed, so we then need to come in this summer and think about, okay, well, we need a goalkeeper, we probably need a rotation option right back, we probably need another centre half, we probably need two midfielders, and we probably need two attackers. So there is just a lot to do. I don't know if we're expecting huge amounts to happen in January, Derek, in terms of finances, etc. I would hope so, but I'm not sure. But certainly the next two windows are going to be big.
Yeah, no question about it. JT gets in touch here. Damn, bit late. McGregor this needs to be his last year. He was in my class in primary school, and I'm ancient. So there you go, JD, giving his thoughts on the goalkeeping situation. John Dooley, a good friend of the show, gets in touch. Morning, John. He says, "Good morning, Derek and Adam. In case I'm not on tomorrow, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you too, John, and all the subscribers and the viewers and listeners, of course, we are on podcast as well. So good to have your company. Hopefully Santa is good to you all. Let's get to one or two more of these comments coming in. Touching on what Mikey Beale said after that game, Adam, he did say that changes would be made for the trip to Ross County. Graham Mitchell gets in touch. Morning, lads. Hopefully Lowry gets a chance in the team. I haven't seen him yet. It was interesting. Prior to the Hibs game, he says he was very close to starting the game, but we've not seen him. There was a bit of angst from some quarters that Scott Wright got on the other night as opposed to Lowry. What did you make of that? And would you like to see Lowry in Dingwall tomorrow?
Definitely, yeah. I think Michael Beale loves to talk. We know that he's great for a soundbite, whereas Gio maybe wasn't as forthcoming, and that had its challenges as well. So I think we're enjoying hearing about when players are going to be available and hearing about this player possibly coming into the team, etc. But it maybe needs to happen, I guess. Like he said 10 days ago, Goldson and Davies are fit. Then neither of them played against Hibs. And now we find out Goldson's only had 2 training sessions in a week and a half. And you're like, well, what is actually happening there? So I don't know whether he maybe just plays the game a little bit and gives us some information out to get us kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's been the same with Lowry. I know he has struggled with injuries this year as well. I don't know if maybe he means he's back and he's available when he's in first team training, but he'll still be 6 weeks away or whatever from actually making a contribution. I don't know, but fans just get so amped up about it. But for me, 100%, I think we're reaching a point now where we're going to have Lowry, Hadji, Tillman and Lawrence all there and available, and it's interesting to kind of see what he looks to do, because if he's playing with 2 strikers as he seems to want to play with, and he's also playing with Kent centrally, there's kind of only really one slot there, and it's Tillman. Tillman has it just now, but then how do we fit in even another one of Lawrence, Lowry, Hadji? So that's going to be quite interesting to see. He even mentioned that he didn't want to play Tillman and Arfield together. That was a kind of either or as well. So I'm not sure where all these players are going to go. It's a nice problem to have, absolutely. But I think for now that jersey that I can see Lowry filling is Tillman's at the minute. So absolutely bringing him on with 20 minutes to go. 100% would have had him on before Scott Wright on Tuesday night. When you're looking to unlock a defence, not sure Scott Wright's the man for that. So I would have had him on then. But I guess we'll need to wait and see what happens on Friday. But definitely I'd like him to play a part over the next few months, as I think he probably should have been over the last year or so.
Yeah. And where do you stand? You mentioned Arfield there. There has been some comments that he should start. He deserves to start. But I think, I see you shaking your head. He's an impact player for me. He's a brilliant impact player. But I think you get a lot more from him bringing him on in games as opposed to starting games. Where do you stand in that?
No, 100%. I've been a massive fan of Arfield from when he joined. I thought he was a big part of 55, that sort of autumn spell where he was on fire and scoring those goals against Hibs and Galatasaray, etc. I thought he was really, really good. But he should be a rotation option, 100%. A very good rotation option. We do see him coming on and he changes games. That Hibs game I mentioned this time last year when Roof got the penalty, Roof and Arfield come on and really changed that game and got us in the game and got us working and passing in that attacking third. And he did the same again on Tuesday night. Fantastic. But if history tells us anything, it's that he'll either pick up a knock or he'll, if he comes in the team for 4 or 5 games, his impact sort of lessens. So I'm the same as you. Impact sub, I think he's probably quite happy playing that impact sub role, to be honest. If this is his last 6 months at the club, then fair enough. I think you could argue he's probably played too much this year already, and we maybe has been part of our problem. We've had to rely on Scott Arfield to come in when we've had injuries or other players haven't been playing as well. But for me, I think that is the sweet spot for him. Starting maybe 1 out of 4 or 5 games and coming on and having an impact in 2 or 3 of them. I think that's fantastic, because that what he gives you in terms of getting beyond the strikers, we don't have very much of that. You could argue Lawrence is capable of doing that as well. That is the role that we need filled. That's someone coming from that right-hand side of midfield who will go up and get beyond the strikers, has a goal threat, etc. The other big thing with Arfield, I think, is he's a good finisher and his movement is great, but he's not like consistently a great finisher. He will miss some chances. We've seen in the Aberdeen game, he missed a couple. The Braga game, we mentioned 6 months ago or whatever, where he missed that. He missed that sitter. So he is quite inconsistent in that sense as well. So I don't think it should be he needs to start every game from now on. He has pulled us out the mire, as Ian Campbell said, quite a lot. But I think if we can manage that and get him in the games at the right moments for him to make the impact he did on Tuesday night, 100%. But I'm not sure he's even got the physicality to be starting every week at the age he's at.
Yeah, and it's a comment that agrees with you coming in here. It says Arfield is a great sub, not a starter in most games. Can't believe he was starting 3 games a week earlier this season. I can't believe that either, to be honest. He was, he was asked to go to the well too many times. I think everyone with eyes could have seen that. It was, the Rangers were asking, I think, him to do just a bit too much. There's no doubt about it. Let's get to one or two more of the comments coming in here. World's Greatest DJ says, what's the situation with Čolak, lads? Well, Michael Beale did say in his pre-Aberdeen press conference that he would be available for Friday. I had a little bit of a knock that occurred just prior to the Hibs game that kept him out of Aberdeen as well. So I'm expecting to see him on Friday, Adam. I think he'll get a shot up top. Do you go along with that?
Yeah, what I found quite interesting, I guess, was that when he said he came out of it was the last training session, wasn't it? Before the Hibs game, he said he pulled up with a bit of a knock.
Yeah.
It was going to be Morelos and Čolak up front, which is quite interesting to me, I guess. Sakala, I was going to say Sakala's played well, but you know what you get with Sakala. It's probably quite similar to Arfield, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sakala scored a great goal against Hibs. I don't think many people are talking about that just because it came sandwiched in between Hibs goals, but fantastic finish across the keeper with his left foot. And then he was in the area on Tuesday night. The first shot probably sums him up, but then the second one to get in there and get the goal, I think. So there's maybe an argument that he would be harshly treated to come out. But at the same time, we know he is a bit of an impact, streaky player as well. So be interesting to see how Morelos and Čolak work. I haven't thought Morelos has been fantastic, if I'm honest, over those 2 games. Čolak's link-up play, etc., was getting better before the World Cup break. So if it is those 2 up front, that then means that we need even more support coming up from midfield. So guys like Tillman or the fullbacks coming up, or even Jack and Kamara trying to get forward a little bit more than they have. But it'll be interesting to see. I think having the both of them playing, we need more goals. Even though we've scored 3 goals in both those games, the quality of the chances that we're creating aren't fantastic. We've done well in those individual moments to make those chances count. We need more goals. That is the most obvious way to do it, is to get 2 guys in who have scored a bunch of goals for us.
Yeah, and David P gets in touch. Just get the comment up here. He says, what's happened to Roof? Thought he was training a couple of weeks ago. I think Michael Beale did say he wanted to sort of ease him back. There's no point getting him back and then breaking down again. I think they're just taking their time over him. Adam, he did mention him quite a lot in his unveiling. He's a player that he admires a lot, and he's one. For me, if Rangers can get a string of games, I think as unlikely as it is, it could be massive. But I don't have much hope of that based on his previous injury record.
No, and if they're taking a bit of time with him to get him back in, that's fine. But I'm kind of of the opinion with Roof that it doesn't really matter what you do, whether you're taking a bit of time for him to get fully over an injury. Another one is never really far behind. So in a way, you sort of may as well just fire him in. But I guess if you're looking at it, on Tuesday night when we took Sakala off, Scott Wright was his replacement, and we were 2-1 down. So you'd want a striker coming on then. I know Sakala is a striker by trade, but we maybe play more as a winger. But you would want to be bringing on more firepower there, and we've brought on less, if you like. So the sooner we get Roof back in the squads and get him contributing, I think that would be fantastic. In terms of updates, etc., I don't know. We can ask at the press conference today, possibly, but he has been in training for a bit, and he did say he was taking it easy. But like I said, we badly need goals. And Roof and Arfield and Čolak. If we can get them coming back into form to help Morelos and to help Sakala, then that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and Alan says, what time is the press conference today? 1 o'clock it is, Adam. We'll get to speak to the manager and whatever player that the Rangers pop up. And speaking about Scott Wright, John Dooley has directed a question at you, Adam, here. He's come in for a bit of stick after Tuesday. Says, does Adam think that Scott Wright has now run out of chances at Rangers? A lot of supporters have made their mind up on him. He's had a number of opportunities and not necessarily grabbed his chance when it's come along, Adam. I think he's a decent enough player. Is he Rangers class? So that is a question.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he is. And I think depends. I'm not sure there was ever really an expectation for us that he would come in and be a first team starter when he signed, which is 2 years now coming up pretty much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For me, it was always his skill set was kind of similar to Ryan Kent in terms of maybe dribbling and and getting the ball in rather than being, I don't know, a striker or like a ball player, if you like. So I had thought he might just come in and be like a sort of rotation / backup option for Kent to give him some minutes, etc. But I think at the age he was when he joined, I think 23, he's 25 now. I think what you see is what you get. I'm not sure he's going to have any kind of sort of Indian summer at Rangers and nail down a first team place. He has contributed in patches. Obviously, the goal in the final was great.
Yeah.
But no, I think if we're being honest, this Scottish quota player rule thing for Europe has probably seen him still here. He's an interesting one though for me to think. How much money could you get for someone like that in the open market? I know we think, oh, Scott Wright, he's rubbish, etc. But we have made a fair bit of money from these type of signings. Like George Edmondson came in for a couple of $100,000. Jordan Jones came in for free. And we made a bit of cash on them. Not huge amounts, but we've made a couple of 100,000 each on them from what I think. So how much money, when you look at Scott Wright's CV, I'm sure an agent could say he's played
in the European final.
Played in the Europa League final. He scored in a Scottish Cup. He's won 55.
Yeah,
like
decent CV.
Be interesting to see how much money we could get for someone like that. We just think automatically of 500,000 or whatever, but that could be one in the summer to think, right, well, could we actually get a decent bit of cash there because we could bum him up a wee bit more and try and get him out and get someone else in and sort of try and start that cycle again. But as James says as well, end product is a big thing for him, as well as it is for quite a few of them, if we're being honest. But yeah, I don't think he's a player that is going to go on and nail down a first team slot anytime soon.
Yeah, the Blue Baron gets in touch. Edmondson could have been great. He is doing well down there at Ipswich, the Fridge, as he's affectionately known. Just competition for places in that back line just prevented him from getting an opportunity. And I think he was part of that COVID 5, if I'm not mistaken, back in the 55 winning season. That didn't help matters. But good lad all the same, and wish him all the best down there. At Portman Road, I think, is where Ipswich play. I want to touch on this just before we wrap up, Adam. I see he's been getting a bit of stick for the comments he's been making back in his homeland. Steely FM says Barisic saying the World Cups took a lot out of him, so can't see him back anytime soon. I've been more than happy with Adam Devine at left back. This is Bona was speaking in Croatia. He's back there with the World Cup squad. He says, I wore myself out to the maximum, both physically and mentally. Honestly, the tournament was very stressful. Japan was the worst for me because I played, and of course it went to penalties too. But in the end, it paid off. It's what you become a footballer for. I'm not sure if it's a wee bit of lost in translation there with regards to his comments, Adam, but he's coming for a bit of stick from some with regards to that. But in what Steely FM says here, I think Adam Devine has done a sterling job in the last two games.
He has done. Whether or not we know the importance Michael Beale puts on fullbacks in terms of getting forward and goals and assists, etc. Whether Adam Devine is going to do that right now, I'm not convinced. But certainly defensively and supporting Ryan Kent and getting himself forward and getting into decent positions, I think he's been absolutely fine, considering he is very young, playing on the wrong side, and not very left foot at all. I think he has been good. The Barisic thing, hopefully it's taken out of context, because that is not ideal when you've played 2 games at the World Cup and you're saying you're physically and mentally exhausted, particularly when you're a player that most of the fan base think has a mental weakness anyway. And you've probably proved on more than a few occasions that you're maybe not as confident a player as you really, really should be, given your career, given the performances that you've put in. So I think that's maybe a little bit of confirmation bias from us as well. But then when you see Kylian Mbappe turning up at PSG training 4 days after the World Cup, and Barisic is saying he's knackered when he's played 200 odd minutes, I think it's quite right that fans will be a little bit sceptical about it. There is another side to that as well, that Yilmaz had the jersey, I think, just about when he got injured. Yilmaz came in and played that Aberdeen game. I think he played the game before as well. So if you're Barisic, would you not want to be hammering it back to impress the manager who knows you before, etc.? Would you not want to be getting yourself back? By all means, have a week off or have 5 days off, whatever it is. But would you not then want to get back, particularly the situation that we're in just now? We don't have a left back, natural left back there, and the new manager's come in, and there's a player champing at the bit when he's fit to take your jersey. For me, I think you would be wanting to get back and impress as as quickly as you can. So hopefully it is a little bit lost in translation.
Yeah.
He doesn't really mean I'm knackered after playing 2 games in a month, because that would not be ideal.
Yeah, Bonapart's Michael Beale did say he should be back available in contention for the Motherwell game on the 28th. So we'll look on that with interest. Okay, folks, that'll do us there. Thanks to everyone for getting in touch with the programme as ever. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to Adam also for joining us this morning. Merry Christmas, Adam, and Merry Christmas to all our subscribers and viewers and listeners as well, because I'm off tomorrow. So you'll get, I think it's Johnny and Joshua that are in the chair. So, enjoy them. Hopefully your team wins tomorrow night, and I'll speak to you again next week. Okay, bye for now.